Ryan Poles is about to make moves that could change the future of this team forever. A $60 million edge rusher who could completely transform our defense. A veteran star who might be on their way out of Chicago after years of being our go-to weapon, and the most cutthroat competition we've seen for a player that everybody wants. These three stories are gonna define whether the Bears are real contenders or just another team stuck in the middle. Don't go anywhere, because what's coming next is gonna blow your mind. Smash that like button right now if you're a Bears fan, and hit subscribe because tomorrow we've got more bombs that are gonna shake up Chicago. After years, man, of watching this team struggle without a legit second pass rusher opposite Montez Sweat, Ryan Poles finally has a shot to fix it once and for all. And we're not talking about just any guy, we're talking about Oweh, a 26-year-old edge rusher who just revived his whole career with the Chargers and is now hitting free agency. Let's rewind for a second. Remember when we had Khalil Mack in his prime? Remember what it felt like to have a dominant pass rush that forced quarterbacks into bad decisions? Ever since Mack got traded to the Chargers, we've been chasing that kind of edge pressure. And I know what you're thinking, but we've got Montez Sweat, and you're right. Sweat had a monster season, 10 sacks, 53 total tackles, 13 tackles for loss. The dude was an absolute beast. But here's the thing a lot of fans don't get. He can't do it all by himself. NFL offensive coordinators aren't dumb when they see your only real threat coming from one side. What do? They double team him, slide protection that way, and boom, problem solved. But let me ask you this. What happens if you've got Oweh coming off the other edge? What happens when teams have to pick their poison? Who gets the tight end chip? Where does the running back slide in protection? I'm telling you right now, that changes the entire game for the Bears. Defense. Oweh finished the 2025 regular season with 7.5 sacks in just 12 games with the Chargers, after getting traded mid-season from Baltimore. And get this, he added 3 more sacks in the playoffs. This guy is 26, right in his athletic prime, and brings exactly what we need: raw speed, explosive burst, and the ability to close on the quarterback when it counts. Let's get technical for a sec, because this matters. Oweh was a first-round pick by the Ravens in the 2021 draft. In his second year, 2022, he had 7 sacks. Not eye-popping numbers, but he flashed. The issue was consistency. Some weeks he vanished, other weeks he looked unstoppable, but something clicked when he landed in LA halfway through 2025 under Brandon Staley's defensive scheme. Oweh found his groove. His get-off got sharper, his hand technique improved. His ability to convert speed to power through contact hit another level. And here's what's got me really hyped. Dennis Allen, our defensive coordinator, is known for getting the most out of pass rushers. Look what he did with Cameron Jordan in New Orleans. Look how he developed Marcus Davenport. This is a guy who knows how to put edge rushers in position to succeed. Picture this: Sweat coming off one side with his speed and length, Oweh flying off the other with pure athletic explosion. The quarterback's got nowhere to go. He's got to get the ball out fast, and when that happens, our corners, led by Jalen Johnson, get a massive advantage in coverage. But here's the catch. CBS Sports is reporting that Oweh is going to draw a ton of interest in free agency. The Niners want him to replace Chase Young. The Eagles need depth after losing Haas and Reddick. The Cowboys are desperate for pass rush help after Micah Parsons had to carry the whole defense in 2025. So I ask you, which of those teams has the momentum we've got right now? The Niners are rebuilding after losing the Super Bowl. The Eagles just fired their defensive coordinator. The Cowboys are a total mess upstairs. But the Bears, man, we just won the NFC North. Caleb Williams is breaking out as a star. Ben Johnson's got this offense humming like a well-oiled machine. Dennis Allen's got the defense in playoff mode. What 26-year-old vet wouldn't want to be part of this? Who wouldn't want to throw on that navy and orange and play at Soldier Field in front of the best fans in the NFL? I believe we've got a huge edge in the Oweh sweepstakes. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: the money. According to Spotrac and multiple NFL insiders, Oweh is expected to land a deal around 3 years. $60 million. That's $20 million per year. That's a big chunk of change, no doubt. To put that in perspective, Montez Sweat is making $24 million a year after his extension, so Oweh would slot just below him. That means we'd be investing around $4 million a year in our top to edge. Are USHERS. Is that a lot? Yeah. But let me ask you this: what's it worth to have a dominant pass rush that can flip games on its Look at the Chiefs. Chris Jones is eating up $28 million in cap space. The Niners had Nick Bosa at $34 million. The Rams won a Super Bowl with Aaron Donald taking up $27 million. Winning teams invest in pass rush because they know it's the second most important thing in football after quarterback. And here's the truth some fans don't want to hear. We've got the cap space to do it. According to Over the Cap, the Bears are projected to have around $82 million in cap space for 2026. That's the FIFTH most in the entire NFL. So when Ryan Poles says he's going to be aggressive in free agency, I believe him. He's got the resources. He's got the plan. And now he's got the perfect opportunity with Oweh. But let's be real about the risks too. Because I'm always going to give you the full picture. Oweh hasn't been consistent his whole career. He had 7 sacks in 2022, but only 5 in 2023. His role shrank in Baltimore before the trade. There are legit questions about whether he can sustain the level he showed in the back half of 2025. And $60 million is a lot to bet on a guy who still hasn't proven he can be elite for a full season, not just 12 games. But here's the thing. In Chicago, he doesn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to carry the whole defense. He just needs to be a high-impact complement to Sweat, and that pressure difference is huge. Think about it like this. If Oweh comes in and gives you 8 or 9 sacks playing next to Sweat, and Sweat holds steady at 10, suddenly you've got nearly 20 sacks from your top to edge rushers. Add in 4 or 5 from Gervin Dexter on the inside. A few blitz sacks from Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. And now you're looking at a defense that can generate 45 to 50 sacks in a season. That puts you in the top 5 in the NFL in sacks. And when you've got that kind of pressure, everything else gets easier. Coverage gets easier. Stopping the run gets easier. Forcing turnovers gets easier. Speaking of turnovers, look at what happened in 2025. The Bears led the entire NFL in takeaways with 31. Kevin Byard had 7 picks. Jaquan Brisker had 4. Jalen Johnson had 3. That's not a coincidence. That's pass rush pressure forcing quarterbacks into bad throws. Now imagine that same secondary with an even better pass rush. Man, that's a recipe for total domination. So if Ryan Poles is serious about turning a division title and a wild card win into a deep Super Bowl run in 2026, Oweh is exactly the kind of swing he needs to take. Because let me tell you something about this division. The Packers aren't standing still. Jordan Love is hitting his prime. The Lions are reloading after making the championship game. The Vikings are building around J.J. McCarthy. If we don't level up, we're getting left behind. And I don't know about you, but I didn't come here to be average. I didn't come here to win 10 games and bow out in the first round. I came to see the Bears win a championship. I came to see another ring in Chicago. Oweh brings speed, youth, explosive upside, and the chance to form one of the best edge duos in the entire NFL. Exactly what we need to take this defense from good to elite. If you thought Oweh was the only edge rusher Ryan Poles is looking at to boost the pass rush, you're out of your mind. Because there's another name on the free agent market that might just be the smartest move of the entire offseason. Boye Mafe. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Come on, this guy had a shaky year with Tampa, only to sacks with Seattle. Why the hell should we be excited about him? And here's my answer. Because sometimes, a lot of times, the real value in free agency isn't in the flashy stats. It's in finding the right guy for your system. It's about identifying talent that other teams couldn't unlock. Let me walk you through Mafe's story, because it matters. He was a second-round pick in the 2020 draft by the Seattle Seahawks. Number 40 overall. Minnesota wanted him. The Packers had him on their board. But Seattle jumped up to grab him because they saw something special. In his rookie year in 2022, Mafe had 4 sacks in a limited role, not eye-popping, but he flashed. Then in 2023, he broke out. 9 sacks. 9. That put him among the top 20 edge rushers in the league that year. So what happened in 2025? Why did he only finish with 2 sacks? Here's the truth that a lot of analysts aren't telling you. His role changed completely. Seattle brought in other guys in free agency. They changed their defensive scheme. Mafe went from being a 3-down starter to a rotational guy who only played in obvious passing downs. His snap count dropped from 65% in 2023 to just 40% in 2025. But here's what I saw when I watched his 2025 tape. When he was on the field, he still showed the exact traits that made him successful in 2023. Quick get off from his stance, explosive power through contact. The ability to collapse the pocket off the edge even when he didn't get the sack. And for the Bears, man, that is production. Because here's the thing that a lot of people, even some analysts, who should know better, don't understand about pass rush. It's not always about who gets the sack. It's about who creates the pressure that forces the quarterback to move, to rush, to roll out, to make mistakes. Let me ask you, how many times did you see Montez Sweat last year generate massive pressure, force the quarterback to scramble, and then someone else cleaned it up for the sack? That happens all the time in the NFL. And when you've got Sweat crashing from one side with his 10 sacks, man, those pressures Mafe creates are gonna turn into sacks for somebody, whether it's Sweat, Gervin Dexter from the inside, or a linebacker on a blitz. CBS Sports listed the Commanders, Patriots, and Colts as possible landing spots for Mafe in free agency, and I get it. The Commanders need help after losing Montez Sweat to us. The Patriots are rebuilding their whole defense. The Colts need someone to pair with Kwity Paye. But let me ask you, which of those teams has a playoff-ready defense that just needs one more piece to be elite? Which of those teams has Dennis Allen calling the shots on defense? Which of those teams just won their division and has real momentum? The Bears have all of that. And Mafe would be stepping into a system where he can thrive right away. Think about Dennis Allen's scheme. It's a multiple front that uses a ton of four-down linemen. It needs edge rushers who can win one-on-ones when offensive tackles are left on an island. It needs guys who can convert speed to power. It needs players who understand how to work stunts and twists with the interior linemen. Mafe can do all of that. He did it in Seattle in 2023, and he can do it here in Chicago in 2026. But here's the best part, the thing that really gets me excited about this option: the cost. Spotrac projects Mafe to get offers around $8 million per year, likely a 2-year deal worth $16.1 million total. Let me say that again. TWOyers, $16 million. Compare that to Oweh's $60 million. We're talking less than a third of the price. A third. That's what I call low risk, massive upside. Think about what Ryan Poles could do with that extra money. He could bring back Kevin Byard, who was All-Pro in 2025. He could sign a veteran guard to protect Caleb Williams. He could add depth at corner. He could make multiple moves instead of going all in on one guy, because let's be real about where we're at. The Bears don't just need edge rushers. We need real depth at safety with Byard, Brisker, and Gardner Johnson all hitting free agency. We need reinforcements on the O-line, especially at guard and center. We've got decisions to make at wide receiver with DJ Moore possibly on the way out. The salary cap is real. Every dollar matters. And every move Ryan Poles makes this offseason has to be calculated and strategic. So I ask you, would you rather spend $60 million on a high-ceiling guy with proven inconsistency, or spend $16 million on a solid player who gives you exactly what you need while saving $4 to $4 million to attack other critical needs? There's no wrong answer here. It's the different philosophies of roster building. But Mafe represents the kind of smart, value-based move that's made Ryan Poles successful since he got to Chicago. Think about his other moves. He signed Tremaine Edmunds for less than the market expected. He got DeMarcus Walker on a crazy value deal. He brought in DJ Moore in that Carolina trade for way less than he's worth. Poles finds value where others don't, and if Mafe comes to Chicago, throws on that navy and orange, lines up next to Montez Sweat in Dennis Allen's scheme, and gives you even 6 or 7 sacks while generating constant pressure, man, that defense is going to be a problem for the entire NFC. Look at the 2025 numbers. The Bears finished 22nd in the NFL in total sacks with just 35. That's not good enough if we want to be real contenders. But add 6 or 7 sacks from Mafe, keep Sweat's 10. Factor in Gervin Dexter's expected third-year jump, and suddenly you're looking at 45 to 50 sacks as a team. That puts you in the top 10 in the league, and when you pair that pass rush with the best takeaway unit in the NFL, man, that's a recipe for total domination. And here's another thing I love about Mafe. He's 26, same age as Oweh. We're not talking about some 30-year-old vet on the decline. We're talking about a young player still in their athletic prime with their best years ahead. The 2-year deal is perfect too. It gives you flexibility. If Mafe comes in and blows up with 8 or 9 sacks in 2026, great, you extend him. If it doesn't work out, the financial hit is minimal and you go into 2027 with a clean cap. That's what I call smart roster management. Don't commit long-term big money until you know the player fits your system. So when I look at all the options, Ryan Poles has this Off-season, when I think about our multiple needs. When I think about building a complete roster instead of going all in on one position. Mafe starts to make a lot of sense. It's not the sexy move. It's not gonna make headlines, but it might be the right move for where the Bears are right now in their competitive window. And now comes the story I know is gonna split this fanbase right down the middle. The one that's gonna get some of you mad at me. The one that's gonna light up the comments section. But I'm always gonna keep it real with you, whether you like it or not, because that's what we do here. DJ Moore might be playing his final days as a Chicago Bear. Let me say that again so it's crystal clear. One of our most productive receivers in recent years, a guy who's been a total pro since day one, might not be on this roster when the 2026 season kicks off. Ben Solak from ESPN, one of the most respected analysts in the game, is predicting that the Bears will trade more this offseason. And you know what? After digging into the numbers, looking at our cap situation, and thinking about where this roster is headed, I think he's absolutely right, and it hurts to say that, because I respect everything DJ Moore has done for this organization. Let's rewind for a second. March 2023, Ryan Poles pulls off one of the boldest trades in recent Bears history. He sends the number 1 overall pick to Carolina, along with other picks, and gets back DJ Moore, the 9th pick, and more draft capital. At the time, a lot of analysts said Poles gave up too much. They said Moore was overrated. They said it was a huge mistake. But what happened? Moore came to Chicago and was exactly what we needed in 2023. His first year with us, he had 96 catches for 1,364 yards and 8 touchdowns. He was our clear-cut WR1. He was the vet who helped Justin Fields grow. And in 2025, with rookie Caleb Williams under center, Moore was still solid. 682 yards and 6 touchdowns in an offense that was still finding its identity under Ben Johnson. So why the hell would we even consider trading him? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Moore is 29 years old and set to make $23 million in 2026. $23 million. That's elite WR1 money. That's top 15 at the position. But here's the problem. He had 682 yards and 6 touchdowns in 2025. Romo Duns, our rookie, had 661 yards and 6 touchdowns. Luther Burden III, another rookie, had 652 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let me ask you, is it worth paying $23 million for production you're already getting from younger, cheaper players who are still on rookie deals and have their whole future ahead of them? I'm telling you, the future of the wide receiver room in Chicago is already set. Oweh Duns is gonna be a star. The guy showed in his rookie season that he can be a legit WR1 in this league. His release off the line, his polished route running, his reliable hands, it's all there. And Burden, man, Burden was the most electric receiver in the 2025 draft. Explosive speed, yak monster. Versatility to line up in the slot or outside, only to touchdowns as a rookie. But that's gonna change big time in year 2. Once Ben Johnson gives him more to do. Those are your receivers for the next 4 to 5 years minimum. Oweh Duns is 22. Burden is 21. They're on cheap rookie contracts, and both have Pro Bowl upside. Moore was the vet who helped bridge the gap. He was the pro who mentored the young guys. He was the steady hand when we needed it. But now it's time to cash in on his value while he still has it. And here's the smart part from a cap perspective. Most of Moore's money is in salary, not guaranteed bonuses. That makes him super easy to trade, even with 4 years left on his deal. A team trading for him only has to pay the salary year to year. No massive dead cap hit. No need to restructure right away. It's a clean contract to move. Solak specifically mentioned the Buffalo Bills as a possible landing spot. And man, that makes perfect sense. Think about Buffalo's situation. Josh Allen is in his absolute prime. They just lost Stefon Diggs. Gabe Davis walked in free agency. Khalil Shakir is solid, but not a WR1. They're desperate for a reliable veteran receiver who can be a number 2 or 3 option in a high-powered offense. Moore at 29, in the right scheme, with an elite QB like Allen, he could easily put up 900 to 1,000 yards and 7 or 8 touchdowns. That's real value for a contender, but the big question is, what can the Bears get in return? I think a second-round pick is totally realistic, maybe even a conditional second that turns into a first if Moore hits certain production incentives. Or maybe a package of a 3rd and a 5th, or even a young player at a position of need plus picks. And that draft capital, Ryan Poles can use it to move around in the 2026 draft and grab another edge rusher. If he doesn't land Oweh or Mafe, He can use it to add depth at safety. He can use it to bolster the O-line. He can make multiple moves to improve the whole roster. Because here's the reality some fans don't want to accept, and I get why it's hard. The Bears are in a win-now window, but we're also building for the future at the same time. Caleb Williams is 23. He's gonna be our quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years if everything goes right. Rome Odunze is 22. Luther Burden is 21. Those are your offensive pillars for the next decade. Moore was great for us. I absolutely respect everything he did. He was a pro. He was productive. He was exactly what we needed when we needed it. But this is the NFL. It's a business. And if you can turn $23 million in cap space and a 29-year-old receiver into assets that help you win a Super Bowl, if you can use that money to bring back Kevin Byard, if you can sign an elite guard to protect Caleb, if you can make TWO moves instead of one, you have to do it. You can't let emotion or loyalty cloud your judgment when you're trying to build a champion. I know this is going to be controversial. I know some of you love DJ Moore and don't want to see him go. I know there are fans who'll say, "You're crazy. You can't trade your most experienced receiver." But I ask you, do you want sentimental loyalty to a 29-year-old, or do you want a championship ring? Do you want to pay $23 million to AW2, WR3? Or do you want to use that money to build the best defense in the league? Because Ryan Poles isn't here to make friends. He's not here to be popular on social media. He's here to build a champion. And sometimes, most times, that means making tough calls that not everyone's gonna understand right away. Look at what he did with Roquan Smith. Everyone said he was nuts for trading him to Baltimore. How can you trade your best linebacker? But what did we get? Picks that turned into Tyreek Stevenson and others. And we used Roquan's money to sign Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards to solid linebackers for less combined money. That's smart roster management. That's sustainable team building. And here's something else nobody's talking about. What if Moore comes back and gets hurt in 2026? What if his production drops even more? Suddenly you're paying $23 million for 500 yards. That's a cap disaster. But if you trade him now, while he still has value, while other teams still see him as a productive receiver, you maximize your return. It's the same reason the Patriots traded Randy Moss when they did. It's the same reason the Steelers let go of Antonio Brown. It's the same reason the Packers didn't pay Devontae Adams. Smart organizations know you've got to sell high, not wait until the value's gone. And just to be clear, this isn't disrespect to DJ Moore. The guy's been incredible. But we're in the business of winning championships, not making players feel good. So when I look at the full picture, when I consider our needs, when I think about maximizing our competitive window with Caleb Williams, trading more starts, to make a lot of sense. It won't be easy. Fans will be split. But it might be the right move for the long-term future of this franchise. So there you have it, Bears Nation. 3 massive stories that are gonna shape our entire offseason and maybe the next 3 to 4 years of this franchise. A $60 million edge rusher who could take our defense from good to elite, a value play-in Mafe that gives us financial flexibility to address multiple needs, and a potential DJ Moore exit that's gonna spark debate but might be the right move for our future. Now I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you agree with trading DJ Moore to free up cap space and go after Oweh? Or would you rather play it safe with Mafe, keep Moore, and build depth across the board? And here's the million-dollar question. If Ryan Poles tells you he can only sign one Oweh or Mafe, who are you picking? You want the high ceiling and risk with Oweh, or the safe floor and insane value with Mafe? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to hear all your takes, even if you think I'm completely out of my mind for suggesting we trade Moore. Because that's what we are here, a family that debates, argues, disagrees, but at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, to see the Chicago Bears hoist the Lombardi Trophy. If this video gave you info you didn't have before, if it made you think differently about these decisions, hit that like button right now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. If you want to be part of this community that lives and breathes Navy and Orange every single day of the year, that breaks down every Ryan Poles move, that celebrates every win and suffers every loss together, subscribe to the channel right now. Because I guarantee you we've got more explosive news coming tomorrow about Poles' next moves. I guarantee we'll be here covering every signing, every trade, every decision this organization makes. The Bears are building something special in Chicago. After years of mediocrity, after years of false starts, we finally have a front office that knows what it's doing. We finally Have a GM with a plan. We finally have a quarterback who might be the answer. The question is, are you gonna be here to see it? Are you gonna be part of this ride? Are you gonna be part of this family that's gonna celebrate together when we lift that trophy? Subscribe right now. Hit the bell so YouTube lets you know every time we drop new content. And share this video with every Bears fan you know because everyone needs to know what's coming. Bear down, Chicago. Bear down, family. I'll see you in the next video with more news that's gonna blow your mind.